Hi Brandon, this is my video submission for the part 2 of Project Hera, where I will demonstrate how to both back up and restore a single file after deletion, and as well as performing a full image restoration of the Windows virtual machine here after the C drive with the operating system has been successfully removed. I will be starting off with the single file restoration after I quickly display how to install Macrium, which is the software I have chosen to use today. So I'm just going to open up and quickly run through the installation process here. I could cut most of the restarting out, which I will do. Not even sure if you really need to see the installation process, but since it's in the criteria, I'm going to display it anyway. And quickly restart the virtual machine. After logging back in, I'm going to display what I have set up beforehand in the settings here. I have three 60 gigabyte hard drives I've created that I will be using. One is the C drive, one is the E drive, and one is the D drive, which I will use to restore um, the operating system afterwards. I have also enabled shared folders, which is what I'm using to simulate a USB drive that I can boot from later on. Um, yeah, this is my lovely test folder here with my very valuable image that I need to keep safe. This is the most important file on this virtual machine, and I need to make sure I can bring it back if something happens to it. So here we go, I'll boot up Macrium. Once this gets all loaded up, light mode. So, since I'm creating just a single image, I will just select create a file and folder backup here. I will go down to my desktop and find the test folder that I have stored my image in and hit OK. I'm going to be saving this to the E drive in a file called backup folder. That is what I'm going to be naming it just for the purpose of the test. I will leave all these as the defaults and finish. Once I select that, it will begin the backup process. 13 seconds, not far off. Can now close, minimize this, and I will take this very important piece of data and delete it, sending it to the recycling bin. I'll then delete it from here, permanently wiped off the face of the earth. We're now going to go back to Macrium, go to the existing backups tab, select file and folder, and here is the backup of my image and folder that I have just deleted from my desktop. Only size 246 kilobytes, but worth its weight in gold. I'm going to select restore backup to the C drive, hit next. Not going to touch anything here. It'll just overwrite where it's going, and I'm going to hit finish. Restore successfully completed. I'm going to close out of that and minimize Macrium, and there we can see you're safe and sound, Brandon. And now I'm going to do a small cut and begin the full image restoration. So this is the section for my full image restoration. This one will be a little more involved than just backing up and restoring a single folder and file. So I'll just go through the steps here by imaging a selected drive. Going to make sure the only drive selected is my C drive, which is where my operating system resides. As you can see, these other two, the D and E, are both empty, or E and F, my bad. I'm going to then save the backup of this to the E drive, and I'm going to call it backup image, full image of Windows. I'm going to hit the next option and leave these all as defaults, and then finish. My backup 1. I'm now going to do a small cut. Okay, now that the backup of the full image of Windows is complete, I'm going to create a rescue ISO. Clicking rescue, selecting ISO, and I'm going to save this onto the shared file I mentioned at the beginning, which is going to act as a USB device. Now that the ISO has been created in the shared folder, I will close out of rescue, minimize VMware, and I am going to shut down VMware Project Hera. Once Project Hera is fully shut down, I'm going to go edit virtual machine settings, locate the drive that has my C drive on it, remove it, and go down here to my ISO option, go to my shared file where the Macrium Rescue ISO is that I just created, set that to be the boot medium, select OK. Now when I boot this virtual machine, it should, after a little key prompt, boot into the Macrium Rescue mode, which will allow me to restore the disk that I deleted by overwriting one of my extra disks that I created at the start, and basically overwriting the empty disk to be what was on the C drive, which was the Windows operating system. Once this boots up, I'm going to browse for an image file, go down to what used to be my E drive. It has now changed to be my new C drive. There's my backup image I created. I'm going to select OK. I'm going to right click, restore image. I'm now going to select a disk to restore it to, which is now my new volume D, empty 60 gigabyte third virtual hard disk that I created at the beginning. I'm going to go next and finish. All target volume data will be overwritten. Confirm that. I'm now going to do a small cut. There we go. Now that it is finished overriding, it will now reboot my virtual machine. And once that is done, I'll be able to log back in. There we go. I'm now going to log back in. And if I go down here, you can see when I go to my PC, local disk C has been replaced. Local disk, I believe it was either F or D, is no longer here. And new volume E is still as it was, just holding the backup image. But as you can see, my whole Windows operating system has been restored, including you, Brandon. That concludes my video demonstration for Project Hera. I hope I covered all of the bases. Thank you for taking the time to grade this.